God. Hi guys, Mount Vernicator coming to you again. I'm sorry. I had food in my mouth. I don't care. I'll eat on camera. But how's everybody doing out there? The Honorable Warrior is back with another comic review for you guys. I'm hearing a lot of good news coming out of this year's New York Comic Con. One big news: Stephanie Brown is coming back. She's going to be in a new Batman title called Batman Eternal. I'm looking forward to seeing her back, but I wish it wasn't another Batman title. All new X Factor, going to be written by Peter David. Rhodey is getting his own series. Black Widow, Loki. I'm hearing a lot of good stuff coming out of this year's Comic Con, and I wish I could have went. I'm going next year because I heard Gail was going to be there next year. I'm going next year. You best believe that, baby. But I'm here to do my review for the books that came out for this week. Yeah. Have a lot of independent, few DC, only 3 actually, and the rest we're going to end it in Marvel. Some books are ending. Believe it or not, I heard, speaking of books that are ending, I heard both Fantastic Four and Future Foundation are ending at issue 16. Wow. Even though I don't read those, but yeah. So let's get into the books, shall we? Let's start off with Dwayne Straczynski and Dustin Nugent's X. Number 6. Yeah. Alright, it says Good Cop, Bad Cop on it. Yeah, you know what? That title actually means something in this. This is not a joke. X is dealing with some bad cops, some crooked cops that are running around Arcadia holding up, mom and pop stores and doing what they need to do in a sense. X sees this. He dishes out a little justice of his own, his version of justice. However, there is a good cop involved in this. He's a good cop. He's a rookie, but he's a good cop. X knows who he is, and it's really interesting because X, a lot of the cops are like, how do you know us? So it makes you get a little bit in depth into, okay, who is the man behind the mask? He must be a official in Arcadia or something like that. But that's pretty much the gist of it. But it's still a straight edge, hardcore action, guys. You got X dishing out his own kind of justice, and his kind of justice ain't good. But it was good nonetheless. Dwayne Straczynski and him is still doing a good job on this title, and we even get a little bit more in depth into who's the big head honcho that X is going after. Alright, we move on to the final issue, part 4 of this miniseries, The Owl. First of all, that Alex Ross cover is beautiful. I apologize for that, the lighting. JT Cruel, and Herbert Kahn Michaels. I love his artwork, really good. His artwork is really great in this. That cover does describe what goes on in this book. The Owl, the original Owl, he wants to put a stop to his former sidekick, Owl Girl, granddaughter, who is the new Owl Girl in the modern era. She's taken vigilantism a little too far, in a sense. She is killing. She's dishing out the same kind of justice that the bad guys would do. And Owl is trying to tell her not to go that route. But it's not registering. You know what I'm saying? It's not registering. So, in his mind, he has to take a little bit of matters into his own hand to dish out some justice of his own. And it may come to the point where he has to maybe do something that he may regret doing. That's basically the gist of it. Am I going to spoil how he does it? No. Does he dish out lethal force on Owl Girl? I won't spoil that. You just have to find out for yourself by picking this book up, if not. But other than that, very good job, Mr. Cruel. Very much enjoyed this very much. You did a fantastic job on this title. I thought this would be an ongoing, but I guess not. But for what it's worth, it was great. Once again, looking forward to Voltronin. Robotech! Yes. I'm sorry, I'm geeking out, people. Sorry. Still in Dynamite, and we're on to Red Sonja, Auntie Gail. That's my new nickname for her. Auntie Gail. Gail Simone does the writing. First of all, that cover, badass. The She-Devil in all her glory. Alright. The artwork by Walter Giovanni. Really good. Red Sonja's not doing so well. She's dying, in a sense. She's hallucinating about her father, and her two bodyguards are pretty much trying to save her. In the meantime, her former sister-in-arms is just wiping out everybody that Sonja's sworn to protect. And it gets really badass from there. Sonja proves, in this book, Gail just proves why Sonja is called the She-Devil. We get more in depth into, once again, how she became the way she is, in a sense. When she was a slave and things like that. But Gail just really shows how badass Sonja is. Sonja's dying, but she ain't going out without a fight. And she proves that in this book. I'm not going to spoil what she does, but you just see Sonja at her glory. When you would think she would be at her worst, she's at her best. She's like a wounded animal. And what do we say about wounded animals? They're more dangerous. That goes for Sonja. Very good job, Auntie Gail. Very good. As I said before, fan for life. Alright. So we move on to Image. And that is none other than Rocket Girl. Amy Reeder does the artwork, and Brian Montclair does the writing. Yeah, Amy Reeder's artwork is really good. I like her artwork very much. I love that cover. It's really cool. Alright, so the basis of this book is simple. I'm also going to do a written review of this on Comic Vine later on. I'm starting to get back into doing written reviews on Comic Vine. I did two not too long ago. I put up my thoughts on Bushido #1 and The Shadow Now. So in this title, we have Amy Reeder. Once again, like I said, dude, is the artwork. We have a young officer. Her name is DeYoung Johnson, and she is from the future, who travels back to the year 1986, I believe, right? It's 1986? Yeah, 1986. I was only 4 years old. But she travels back to the year 1986 because she has to stop something, in a sense. She interrupts these scientists, and she's stop right there. You're under arrest. And everything. I'm like, okay, and we thinking she's from the way into the future. Wrong. I'm gonna spoil this for you guys. The future she's from, 2013. But it's a really badass, futuristic future. We're talking flying cars, Jetson style, Fifth Element style, things like that. And get it or not, guys, Miss Johnson here, she's a cop. But she's only 15 years old. And that threw me for a loop. I was like, wow. She's only 15 and she's a cop? That is cool. And she's really kind of got to get back used to, the 1980s. She's flying around on her jetpack and stopping crimes, and the police officers there are like, you're a cop and everything. She's like, yeah. And they try to grab her. She disarms the guy, puts the handcuffs on her. I was like, okay, this is badass. I'm loving this. And Miss Johnson here, once again, she needs to stop something. I'm not going to spoil what it is, not too much, but the scientists know about her, so they feel that they're kind of hurt. She's kind of their responsibility in a sense. But it was really fun. I really enjoyed this. I was glad I was looking into this. For all those who are interested in Rocket Girl, I say give it a try. We got another one here from Image, a good independent comic that suited me just well. And it was worth the $3.50. It really was. It really was worth the $3.50. And it just shows you. I love the ending because the Johnson, she just is having a blast back in the 80s. I thought it was really cool. But yeah, I can't wait to continue reading this. Well done, guys. Well done indeed. Alright, and we don't really move from cops, but we do move to another independent company. And New Paradigm, Watson and Holmes, number 4. I've been loving this series, guys. Well done to the people at New Paradigm. Well done to Mr. Bowler. And, this has just been great. I've been loving this series. Once again, like I said, it's Sherlock Holmes and Watson, but just a different color. They're African American. And in this issue, the plot thickens even more. From just them looking for a missing girl, it gets even deeper. And it's to the point that we got assassins coming after them. And it's like, wow. Okay. The plot thickens. The plot thickens, baby. Let me say that again. The plot thickens. And we see Holmes and Watson doing all they can to protect someone that may know more information. Now, am I going to spoil? Do they get their witness out of it? I'm not going to spoil that. But the plot thickens. Once again, I said that 3 times. But yes, it means a lot in this. It gets so bad that the people behind the assassins, they realize that Holmes and Watson may be a problem. So they go even further into getting to Holmes by telling them, if you don't do what we tell you, and Holmes is looking at a phone and he sees them eyeing down Watson, and will kill your partner. And right there, it just was like, oh man, where's this gonna go now? But does that stop Holmes and Watson from dishing out justice and continuing their investigations? No, because one, I'm gonna spoil this for you guys. Holmes does not tell Watson what went down. He doesn't tell him. He's scared if he tells him, Watson may, freak. But you got to remember, in this version, Watson is a soldier. He's a former soldier, but he does work as a medic. But this has just been really, really good, guys. I do recommend picking this up. I do recommend. It's not too late to jump on board this. It is not too late. I can't wait to issue number 5, which comes out November 6th. They give issue 6 comes out December 11th, and issue 7 comes out January 15th. But I've been loving this. New paradigm. Keep up the good work, guys. You have a loyal supporter and buyer of this title. We move on to Top Cow, and we move on to. Sorry about that. That's my phone. Bushido number 2 of 5. Heroes and Villains Entertainment and Top Cow. Bushido, Way of the Warrior. You guys know me. I'm a samurai mark. I love. And once again, Gisetta Suhai artwork. It's beautiful. And Rob Levin continues his story of Kichiro, and he is pretty much now in the hands of his brother Orochi, and his brother is telling him, admit it that you killed my father, because at the end of the first issue we saw him holding his adopted father, Kichiro holding his adopted father, and his adopted brother Orochi jumping to conclusions and thinking that Kichiro killed him. Little did they know that his father, his adopted father, was killed by the vampires. And Orochi is like, admit it and things like that. And Kichiro's trying to tell him, brother, I had nothing to do with that. So once again, you're really getting into dire straits with Kichiro, and you're trying to figure out, he's just trying to showcase to his brother that he had nothing to do with it. Nobody's believing him because of why? In a sense, because A, he's a gaijin. He's not born Japan. He's not born Japanese. And there's always been kind of this animosity for him with Ichiro. So Ichiro's kind of looking for just some reason to execute him. Gotta remember, this takes place in the Edo period of Japan. The 1600s. But it comes in a fate from a great ally to Kichiro, the woman that he loves, but is destined to marry his adopted brother. And Kichiro kind of gets a little bit of evidence to prove that he had nothing to do with it. But still, it's still not registering too much with Orochi. But his men are starting to maybe believe that Kichiro's telling the truth. His words mean a lot. And that is where the plot thickens, and we realize that the vampires want to kill the shogun. I'm not going to ruin it right there, but this was just superb once again. Rob Levin does a good job. Can't wait to the next part, which comes out, I think, next week. But I may have to wait. I'm not sure. I'll explain later on afterwards. But other than that, guys, excellent work. Bushido, number 2 of 5. Samurai and vampires. What more can you want? Right? And we end the independent on Eternal Warrior number 2. Greg Pak just does a fantastic job on this title. We get further and further into what was the cause of that made Galad, the Eternal Warrior, leave, and the mistake that he made that cost him, in a sense, cost his tribe and everything like that. And we kind of get to see that during what year? I'm trying to remember the year. 1877 Oklahoma. And we see Gallet back there. And he witnesses, I believe, Union soldiers chasing two Native Americans, in a sense. And Gallet intervenes. His handler, who is like, what was his name? Another person that, his name is Buck, that serves the earth. He talks to the earth, like he puts his hand down on the earth and she tells him who is to dish out justice and everything like that. And we get a little bit in depth in there as well. But in the present, we see Gallet dealing with his daughter, who is alive as well, who he wants nothing to do with because of what she did. He's still holding the grudge of what she did way back. And we kind of get to see what she's brought to his doorsteps. And he's just like, you know what? I'm tired of your bull crap. I'm tired of your BS. Leave me alone. Go fend for yourself. I want nothing to do with you. You made me kill my own dog because you brought madness here. And it's really crazy. It gets really in depth. And Greg Pak just does a fantastic job of segueing from the past and the present very well. I really enjoyed this. This has just still been, we're only 2 issues in, but we just see why Greg Pak is such a good writer. If you followed him on his Hulk run, if you're following him on Superman and Batman, which I don't read, but I hear good things about it, you could tell Greg Pak is a fine writer, and his fineness as a writer is showcased well in this title. Eternal Warrior, number 2. Alright, we move on to another one. We get a double dose of Auntie Gale. Batgirl, number 24. Wanted, number 2. First of all, that cover is badass. Jim Gordon is not having a good day. He just shot somebody that Barbara cares about, and Barbara is furious at him. She even says it. I hate you, Dad. Whoa, okay. Not gonna spoil who that is, but if you are reading Batgirl, you know who it is. Little does Gordon know, and Gordon he's not happy about it. He's not happy about it. You think he's in the mood that he's in, he would be kind of like heart of stone or heart of iron, but no, he's not happy about it. And the plot thickens even further. I'm not going to spoil a lot because this was just really good. You just got to see for yourself, guys. Bottom line, I'll give you a little bit more tidbit. Nightfall, she puts a hit out on Jim Gordon. And she sends out all her operatives to take him out. Jim is alone in his house. Can't reach his gun because Nightfall's operatives have him surrounded. So who do you think it's up to get to him in time? None other than his daughter. And I love the line that she says in this. I'm gonna spoil this for you guys. Okay, Batgirl it is. One last time. This was just superb. Very good. It's Gail Simone, people. You know, and I don't get tired of saying that, guys. because she's just a fantastic writer, and it may be like I'm on her, I'll collar her too much. I'm on her, under her womb or something like that. Maybe I am, but I'm a fanboy. She just tells just good storytelling, and you could tell she knows how to write Barbara so well. And with this, if this is to be Barbara's last ride as Batgirl, I'm not saying that it is, but she's gonna go out in a blaze of glory. Move on to Green Lantern Corps, number 24. We have Robert Van. Damn it! I'm trying to remember who we got on this. Who we got on this title? We have Venditti, Bernard Chang does the artwork, and Van Jensen. This is part 2 of Lights Out. It's game over. No, I'm just messing with you. World's End. So the Corps is still dealing with the ramifications of the last issue with Relic. Hal needs to get all the Corps members off Oa. All the members, their power is depleted. Hal wants to stand there and fight. Hal, he's a cowboy. He's like, you know what, I'm going. And, it's like, Hal, what are you doing? Like, listen to reason. Get your people out. So not only does he have to get himself out, he has to get all the wounded out that Soraya, she has in her clinic. All the prisoners that are on Oa needs to leave. And things like that. And you would think Hal would stay behind. But no, it's not Hal. It's John. And he uses a little bit of a few other Corps members to buy them some time. And they do their best effort to handle Relic. But Relic is showcasing that he's not putting up with any kind of all the forces that the Lantern Corps are dealing with. He's not. He's standing tall. And we have one Corps member that was with John tell John to get the rest of them out because he's older. He's older, and he's come to peace with he's older, and he will self-sacrifice himself. He tells John, you have much to live for. And wow. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just say for Oa itself, I salute Green Lantern Corps number 24. Let me tell you, if something bad happens to Oa, you know what? Like I said, once again, I just saluted. So that should give you an indication of what happens. Oa is no more. There's no more. We move on to Nightwing, number 24, City at Flames, A Hero Alone. Kyle Higgins and Will Conrad does the artwork. Cover, I like it. Does that go down? No, but it's a good ramification of what could have happened. Now you got to remember, Dick is in Chicago. He's in Chi-Town, and he's on what he came to Chi-Town for was because of why? Tony Zuko is alive, and he was after him. But now, a new version of the prankster is dishing out his own kind of justice, and we get more in depth into who the prankster is because Zuko knows who his identity is, And why he's doing this, it has a lot to do with his father, who died, as well as the mayor. And he set up to blow up Chicago by he set bombs all over the subway system of Chicago. And he was going to use that to blow up Chicago. Now, does the prankster succeed in his job? Not going to spoil that. Does Dick dish out his own version of justice for Tony Zuko? I will spoil that. No, he doesn't. You would expect, with all the anger and fury that this man has dished out to Dick, you would figure Dick would be so pissed off and angry and want to kill Zuko himself. But does he? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. But it ends on a good notion, but it also ends on a sense of this is just the beginning for Dick's adventures in Chicago. But I gotta give Kyle Higgins a lot of credit. He did a fantastic job with this issue. This was really good. I enjoyed it. But it looks like now, I think, Dick enters 0 year. I don't know what it is now. Now we're getting everybody, all the Bat family are entering 0 year. I hear even Flash is entering 0 year. Don't like that. So we move on to Marvel. And we start off with of Astonishing XMen number 68, Margaret Liu. Once again, I love that cover. 2004 to 2013. Margaret Liu does a good job really focusing more on Warbird once again. I love when she focused on Warbird before, and I love where she focuses a lot on her in this issue too, because it's more coming to the point of how does we look through the eyes of Warbird once again of how does she see herself amongst the X-Men? How does she feel herself among being an alien on an alien planet that she's not really, in a sense, she can't really grow accustomed to? She's trying, but in a sense she feels that she's not. In a sense, the X-Men are dealing with Dark Beast in the beginning, and she feels that she does not belong with the X-Men, in a sense. But we have Karma trying to show her that, your artwork is good. You can be a warrior and you can be an artist. Showcase that. We get more in depth into what's going on with North Star and his lover, dealing with his trying to get citizenship. Bobby is still dealing with the ramifications of what happened. And it was just a really good tale of showcasing how Warbird looks at things, and I like that. And what's the ramification? What she realizes that she has found a family, and that family is the X-Men, and she wouldn't change it. And we also get a lot of in-depth into some of the X-Men. Like Wolverine goes to tell Warbird, like, look, if I wasn't with the X-Men, I would probably be the person I used to be, in a sense, the killer. Gambit even says, if I wasn't with the X-Men, I'd probably go back to being a thief. I love how Karma says I'd probably be in the library. Cecilia Reyes says I'd probably have my own clinic. And then, Gambit says, you'd be miserable. So it was a really good tale. Margaret Liu did a very good job on this title. Very good indeed. I loved her run. It was really well done. I hope to see some more Margaret Liu's work, whether it's for Marvel or not. God bless you, Ms. Luke. You did a very good job on this title. And Astonishing X-Men comes to an end. Captain America number 12. Rick Remender, Carlos Pichel. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, sir. First of all, we got Crazy Nuke on the cover. He is a super soldier. He's just flipped his wig. He's gone even crazier. Let's get that out the way. He's in Eastern Europe just causing havoc. The real gist of the story, guys, in my opinion, what is really well written in this is Cap. I'm starting to put the free digital codes up on my Facebook, my Twitter account. So anybody who has Twitter, follow me on Twitter. I do put up these codes, so whoever gets it first, you can read this digitally. I'm starting to put up digital copies of titles that I read. But yeah, I'm putting the codes out there. But so far, I'll even admit, so far, if you want to read the first two parts of Mighty Avengers 1 and 2, the digital code is up. If you want to find it, on my Twitter account, if you can get it first while I can. But anyway, the real story is between Cap, Sam Wilson, the Falcon. He comes to pay Cap a visit, and tells him, "Hey Cap, we haven't seen you at the Avengers in a while. What's going on?" He meets Jet Black for the first time, and it's not really a good moment. Sam gives his condolences about Sharon. Yes, Sharon Carter died in the last issue. And we just see Cap. Him and Cap are just going about having a daily run around, a daily workout around the city. While Sam is flying, Cap's just jumping from building to building, showcasing the super soldier and how agile he is and things like that. We see Cap so vulnerable. I've never seen Cap this vulnerable in all the years I've been reading Captain America. I've never seen him this vulnerable. Rick Remender paints a very good picture of how Cap feels he's so far out of the world now than ever, from his time in Dimension Z to his time raising Ian, Armanzola's son. How he cared for him. Things like that. It's just, you just see Cap so vulnerable, and to the point where he breaks down and cries, guys. I'm not even joking. We see Cap he's dealing with the loss, but it's still there. You know what I'm saying? And and Sam is being just a good friend that Sam the Falcon has always been to Steve. He's telling him, I can understand your loss, Steve, but in time, the wounds will heal. Not fast, but they'll heal. And I'm here when if you ever need me, I'm here for you, bro. Don't, it was a bro moment, and you're just like, that's Sam for you. You're just like, what a partner, what a friend the Falcon is, and you love it. Rick Remender just painted such a good picture of how good of a friend the Falcon is in this, and what a good fellow Avenger he is. Just good stuff. This was really good. Very good indeed. And we move on to Fearless Defenders number 10. First of all, that cover, yeah, 80s hip hop. I love it. I love it. Basically, guys, in this issue, Mr. Bunn introduces us to a new character. Her name, Ren Himura. I love the last name because it reminds me of Kenshin Himura, Battleside the Manslayer. So it's cool. And she's a result of what happened in the last issue of Infinity. What happened at the end. Remember what happened at the end of that, right? Well, it looks like because of what happened, the source of the Inhumans' abilities, how they gain their powers, the Terrigen mist has clouded the island of Manhattan. So, and people are being cocooned, and they're coming out of their cocoons with abilities. Miss Himura here is one of them. And we get a real in-depth story of who she is, and beautifully done. Well done. We see that she comes from a privileged family in a sense, but they've never really understood her. They've always tried to tell her what to do, but she's a dancer. She's a ballet dancer, and that's cool. We also, and she wakes up, comes out of the cocoon with abilities. Her arms, her hands are now like razor sharp, which is just like, oh man. But in the meantime, she wakes up and she's just like, okay, what's going on? You know, there are war dog troops from Thanos looking for everybody. And we get Caroline LeFay and her Doom Maidens, which are really cool. We got Thundra, we got Titania, we got Scorpina, and who else was there? Mind Blast and Shariq. When's the last time we saw Shariq? Carnage's old girlfriend. But it was great to see her though. And the Defenders come and help out. And so she's there, and she's just like, she's really scared. She doesn't know. She's like, what's going on? What's going on? She doesn't know it. And she witnesses the girls dishing out, defending. And, I love how she's like, I live in New York, the city of heroes, pretty much. And I've heard people talk about how they've seen this and seen that, but I've never seen a superhero battle go down. And we see her finally get into the battle. She's doing this very ballet dance. It was really cool. I was loving it. And she's able to jettison her fingers, like her razor fingers, and they like have like a super strong like ribbon or so. Like she can use it. It's really cool. And finally, she comes to tell. She's telling the tale of how she became a Defender, and it was really cool. And it looks like there may be something between them. It looks like Mr. Bunn is setting up maybe something between her, Miss Himura, and Abigail, because yes, Ren Himura here is she's a lesbian. So, and she kind of looks at I love the line that Misty Knight says. I love it. It was funny. Where is it again? I gotta see it. You're younger. She's younger than you, And then Abigail says, "You're way off base. It's not like that. How old do you think she is anyway? She's at least 20, right?" And yeah, this was just a really good tale. We are introduced to a new Defender, Ren Himura. As for issue number 4 of 6 of Infinity, Jonathan Hickman and Jerome Opina does the artwork on this one. First of all, the fight between Black Bolt and Thanos. Freaking epic. Was I surprised at the outcome? Not too much, but it was epic nonetheless. Thanos is looking for his son Thane, who is on Earth. Now I knew who Thane looked like before they even showed it in this book, because if you play Avengers Alliance on Facebook, the Marvel game, they showed him in there. I was like, okay, that's Thanos' son. And the Terrigen Mist is all over the place once again. And we're starting to see people. And now I'm getting to realize what that Inhumanity book that who was writing? Miss Kelly Sue DeConnick's husband. I'm totally forgetting his name right now. Fraction. There we go. Sorry. Had a brain fart. But in this issue, besides that fight, it's all about Thor. That cover, oh my god. What Thor does in this book was epic. I loved it. It was just like, that was so badass. That's what Cap came up with. I love it. I thought it was so cool. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I'll spoil a little bit. The builders think they have Thor at their mercy. You know, he's like, Thor's bowing and surrendering in a sense. We think Thor is surrendering. He's like, I've come unarmed. So what does Thor do? He throws Mjolnir, throws him up in the air, throws the hammer, flies it up in the air. And the builders, you know, one of the builders is just smacking Thor around like, yeah, you know, in a sense, like, you have no choice, surrender. He's, you know, and what do we know? What happens? Gravity comes into factor, right? What goes up must come down. What do you think happened with that builder? That's it. I'm not even gonna spoil that. That is the major gist of it, and I love that. This was wild. Once again, the build up is still building up. Hickman's just beautiful building up, and we get to see Thane, what happens to him after the Terrigen Mist is, you know, absorbed into him as well. But 2 more issues to go, and Cap he realized that we can win this. Thor God of Thunder number 14. I will put up the digital code on my Twitter for this if you want to read it. I put up some more. I think I'll put up a couple. I have a bunch of them, guys, and I don't use them. So anybody that wants to read God of Thunder, Thor God of Thunder, you know, first come, first serve. So I'll put it up on my Twitter. But in this issue, Jason Aaron still does a good job, and Garini's artwork is fine. It's just great. So Malekith is still, he's just killing his race. He's killing his race. He's trying to get to the Queen of the Dark Elves. The Queen is being as a guest with the dwarves, which realm is that again? I always forget the 9 realms. That is Svartalheim, basically. I hope I'm saying it right. Thor is ready to just go after. He's assembling all his Asgardians, you know, and it's like, let's go get Malekith. Let's go. However, his mother, Frigga, comes, one of the All-Mothers, comes and says, no. He says basically that the Congress of Worlds are basically, it's like an order made up of all the 9 realms, different representatives of the 9 realms. That's where Volstagg is. He's the senator of Asgardia, and his mother tells him that it's forbidden to pursue Malekith. And Thor's like, what madness is this, mother? Come on, why can't I go after? And she tells him there's a reason why, because it's a matter of all the realms. So you're going to have help, not just... You're going to be almost the only Asgardian with them. So the rest of the team is made up of other realms. You know, a light elf, you know, a dwarf, a troll, a giant, you know, a frost... No, I think he's a frost giant. I could be wrong. And made up of actually a dark elf that got her arm cut off by Malekith. And she wants in because she feels that you know, she has a stake in this. So it's basically Thor leading other members of the 9 realms to get to Malekith. And yeah, it gets really, really bad at the end. There's a big fight between Thor and his men against Malekith. Malekith basically is Malekith able to get to the Queen? I'm not going to spoil that, but it was a really good fight. I love the line where Malekith thinks he got the upper hand on Thor, where he says, "You fight dark elves amidst the shadows. How very foolish, Asgardian. Almost as foolish as bringing a hammer to a knife fight." And then all of a sudden, Thor says, "I also brought a giant. Now apologize to my hammer." I thought that was so funny. Smacks. I thought that was so funny, but it was great. But this is only part 2 of The Accused. Very good stuff. Well done, well written. Aarons really knows how to write Thor. He is just, once again, like I said, he is channeling Mr. the King himself, Jack Kirby. It's like he's writing it, once again, and Jack's spirit is right there, and he's turning to Jack. So how was that? How's that? How'd that go, Jack? That's good? You know what I'm saying? That's how it feels to me. That's my you know, synopsis of how it feels, because he's just doing a fantastic job on this. But once again, like I said, I'll start putting up a lot of digital codes of books that maybe you guys don't read, but if you follow me on Twitter, first come, first serve. Maybe even I'll give digital copies to whoever, you know, maybe I'll just give it to that person. You never know. So look out. I might just say, you know what, say like I just give a digital copy to, let's say, my friend Kat, Comic Uno. Here, Kat, here's a digital copy of this. You can read it. Or, here, Gabi, here's a digital copy of this. Go read it. If you follow me on Twitter, that's where you're going to start seeing that stuff. Once again, it's first come, first serve. But Thor God of Thunder. Very good. And we end this on XMen. Brian Woods, Lopez. This is number 6. 7. Issue 7 of Battle Down, which has been really good. The charade is over. I'm going to say that right now. Those X-Men, Wolverine now, it realizes they're not the X-Men. Because we found out who the real X-Men are. It's been all a charade. But why? Why are they doing this? And the Kitty, that older Kitty, is not Kitty. I'm not going to spoil who that is. But in this issue alone, they have expressed that Wolverine now, his healing factor is gone now. That's been going on in the Wolverine comic now. So something bad happens to Wolverine. Jubilee shines in this. Psylocke shines in this. And we get to find out who was that X-Men in the armor, in the future X-Men. And you're not going to believe who that was. I had a feeling but I wasn't sure. But it was really good. I loved it. It was a great moment. But yeah, this cover pretty much sums up a lot. But yeah, the X-Men, it's not looking so good for Wolverine and the rest of the gang. I don't want to spoil anything. This was just really, really good. Trust me, guys. Battle on the Atom has been really, really good. Just really good. Well done to all the people that worked on this. And this has just been another great X-Men story arc. Good stuff. X-Men. Number 7. Once again, I'll put up the digital code for this as well. So that's it, guys. That's all I have for this week. I want to make this announcement right now while I have the time. I may not be doing a review next week, and may not do a review the following week as well. I may have to put my comic reviews on hold because of I'm getting ready to start a new job and things like that. So my comic reviews may have to put on hold for that. But it's nothing bad. It's just that I may have to put my comic reviews on hold. But I'll let you guys know more if need be. But yeah, I might have to put my comic reviews on hold for some time, maybe for the rest of October. Maybe. Not really quite sure yet, but it might be. Might have to put it on for the rest of October. But I'll let you guys know more if it happens, it happens. And if you don't see a review up next week or the following week, then what I'm telling you right now is come true. That means Chris he's doing his, he's training in his new job, and that's taking him a lot of his time. So yeah, there you go. But other than that, don't be alarmed. I'll be back. And that's about it, guys. But other than that, I want to give a shout out to you guys know me. Of course, I'll give a shout out to Gabi, FatStakeofComics, the DarkAvengerINC family, the YouTubers core, my group, Comic Uno, everybody like that. But I want to give a shout out to some new people to the comic book review community. And I believe that's 2 comic nerds. I think I'm getting it right. Yeah. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. If I did, I apologize, guys. There are 2 guys that literally contacted me personally, and it's like just wanted to introduce themselves. And I told them, yeah, okay, it's cool, no problem. And they said they got through me from FatStakeofComics, Mark and Chloe. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them as well. But other than that, guys, this is Mount Vernon Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned to real guys as always. Ta-ta for now, and see you guys around.